Just her smiling face. She was, always smiling.
21-year-old Hannah Bates.
Hannah was just, she just full of life. She was an outdoor girl, if there ever was an outdoor girl.
Bates was killed on a trail at Stony Lonesome Park in Coleman. A Parks and Recs representative tells us the single vehicle crash happened as Bates was leaving the park. They say her vehicle rolled over multiple times. Staff tell us she was unresponsive and unconscious when they responded to the call.
They got the wrong person. That can't be Hannah. There's no way this could be Hannah. She just loved being outdoors.
Hannah was a passenger and wasn't wearing a seatbelt or harness. Friends say she was no stranger to these types of parks.
She just loved, riding ATVs.
This is the third deadly crash at the park since last April.
We're going to just miss her. We're going to miss her coming around, and it's going to be tough.
And loved ones hope this will be a reminder for everyone to be careful. In Coleman, Larissa Scott, WVTM 13.
We went to Coleman County asking questions about park safety, but county leaders say they're not making any public comments until the investigation is complete. The park is closed for the next few days, but there are no plans to close it permanently.
The Birmingham Humane Society's property battle rolls on. An IT business wants to buy land initially gifted to the Humane Society. 24 acres near downtown Birmingham are now up for grabs. For a year, the Birmingham Humane Society has pitched moving its headquarters here. But now Jefferson County Commissioner David Carrington says an IT company is stepping up. Last year, the county and city of Birmingham offered to give the land to the Humane Society, but when the city rezoned the land, it complicated that deal.
We said it was contingent upon proper zoning by the Birmingham City Council too, and that has not occurred. And so it's time to move on. We need to find them an alternate location.
The Birmingham Humane Society director is not backing down. They are still working to get council to change the zoning, which she hopes will happen soon. Murder charges tonight for the man behind the wheel of a stolen car. Bessemer police say Onassis Scarborough is in jail charged with murder. Other charges are expected. Detectives say that he stole an SUV Friday night with a child inside from the parking lot of the Stop and Go that was on Dartmouth Avenue and later hit a car head on. The coroner says that Lottie Evans, who was in the car the man crashed into, died at UAB Hospital. The man arrested by Vestavia police after a high-speed chase has been charged. That chase ended Friday night with a crash on Highway 150. Brandon Carpenter is charged with trafficking heroin and several other charges. The person hit in the chase is okay. And rolling meth lab charges tonight for Griffin Thompson. He's behind bars. Authorities say Thompson was spotted in the parking lot of an Alabaster Walmart after reportedly acting suspicious. Hazmat crews soon were called in to remove the shake and bake meth lab. Thompson is being held on a $250,000 bond.
More defendants now added to a wrongful death lawsuit after a deadly explosion at a Jasper car dealership. The suit now includes a construction company and an architect. The lawsuit alleges the ventilation system of the oil bay change had defects in its design and construction.
A Hoover woman is accused of stealing nearly $200,000 from the YWCA in Birmingham. Federal prosecutors say Ricky Ross is charged with federal program fraud. Ross is accused of stealing from the agency over a 5-year period that started back in 2012 until she resigned in 2017.
Fairfield's mayor is accusing the council of trying to overthrow the city's government. Today, the police department closed City Hall. WVTM 13's John Papke tells us what the mayor says he's facing.
2 years ago, Fairfield faced plenty of City Hall showdowns. The mayor and the city council constantly battled over the budget, sometimes failing to pay employees on time. Then a new mayor and council took office, but City Hall struggles continue.
In less than 16 months' time, this city council has chosen to try to usurp my authority and basically pull a political coup d'etat, and now it's plunged the city into chaos.
The council has hired a city manager, who Mayor Ed May II feels is trying to steal his authority. Shirley Williams Scott and her Citizens Coalition are working on getting the council out of office.
Now we're at the point of working to have them removed. They have not served the citizens. They have not listened to the voice of the citizens.
At one point this morning, the city manager called the sheriff's office against the mayor, but they left without taking any action. So after the city manager called the sheriff's office to City Hall this morning, the Fairfield Police Department decided to shut down City Hall to avoid any further trouble, leaving the mayor and the janitor as the only 2 city employees inside.
So now I'm being faced with mutiny. It's interfering with the operation of the city, and we just had to have the City Hall closed down to avoid any potential conflict.
Today's City Hall showdown comes the day before the mayor delivers his State of the City speech. In Fairfield, John Papke, WVTM 13.
Testing for tuberculosis continues in Calhoun County at Wellborn Elementary and high schools. 45 students will now undergo additional testing after one student became ill earlier this month. The health department says students had reactions to a skin test and will now have blood testing done. It's been a day of straight A's in Alabaster. Glowing reviews from students and faculty at the brand new Thompson High School.
So the new school also is a big boost to a growing city. Right now, Alabaster has about 34,000 people, but that's expected to be 50,000 within the next 20 years. Leaders think the new school will really help the city take the next step.
Businesses follow where education is, where there's a desire to increase education, have well-educated workforce. Businesses go there.
And Thompson High School was built at a cost of $88 million. Jeff Eliasoff tells us that students and teachers are giving a big thumbs up to the big investment.
Look around the Thompson High School campus, and it's easy to see why students feel like they're on their first college visit.
It's cleaner, more secure, teachers are more excited, everyone loves their new classrooms.
So strike up the band. This is the first day of the brand new band room at the brand new Thompson High School. And judging by the kids' reaction, this is not the only joyful noise that'll be coming from these buildings. Senior Tiger Quarles will attend Vanderbilt in the fall, but is thrilled his final months in high school will be here.
Environment makes all the difference. If you're in a place where you want to learn, you're more likely to take advantage of the opportunities you have.
The school houses 1,900 students now, but can hold 600 more. Growth seems inevitable for Alabaster, a city of 34,000 people, expected to be 50,000 by the year 2040. Senior Clayton Nichols would like to be here then.
If I have any possibility to move back to Alabaster with a job after I graduate, I would absolutely love to, because I would love to raise my kids where I grew up, and it's just such an amazing city. We have so much going for us, and it seems to only be going up from here.
For band director John Bubbett, the new school is more than just great facilities and better acoustics. It gives children
the opportunity. That's what this really gives our kids. Not that every kid in Alabama public schools don't have hope and opportunity, but there's more of it here.
Opportunity created by a giant long-term investment in education. In Alabaster, Jeff Eliasoff, WVTM 13.
Definitely is a beautiful campus. Well, crime and economic development are two issues that Tuscaloosa city leaders are hoping to fix in the city's West End. The city is spending $1 million to figure out why the West End isn't growing like other parts of the city. A private consulting firm will talk to residents about changes they'd like to see, then share that information with city leaders.
They don't want to see the same duplicated businesses that we already have, such as payday loan centers, or fast food places, or barbershops, or churches, or tattoo parlors.
The study should take about 8 months.
Remembering Billy Graham, coming up here from some of the people traveling across the country to see the late pastor.
Plus, a big ruling on DACA today. What a local dreamer has to say about it. You're watching WVTM 13 News.
You're watching WVTM 13 News.
People are visiting the Billy Graham Library today in Charlotte, North Carolina, paying their respects to the late Reverend Billy Graham.
As Bethany Moore from our sister station reports, it's been a packed day at the library with droves of people showing up to pay their final respects.
Busload after busload all morning long. People are coming to say goodbye.
For the history and the gravity.
Many people remembering Reverend Graham lighting up their TV screens at night.
And everybody in the small town where we lived was going to be about that same thing that night because the whole world was just infatuated with Billy Graham and with his message.
And that same message still resonating for generations much later.
I've always wanted to be like Billy Graham, and I wanted to honor him. And when this is a very sad day, but also a very good day for Billy Graham.
For Darla Mall, it's a tear-filled visit she felt called to make.
And it just absolutely just took me over. You know, having that conversation with God in front of Dr. Graham was the most amazing experience of my life.
She says she spent those moments thanking Reverend Graham for leading their father to the Lord at one of his revivals in Detroit years ago.
This man was 70 years old, and it took that moment for him to open his heart, for the Holy Spirit to come in. And Billy Graham was the one that brought that out of him. So, and I'm so grateful because when I die, I want to be with my daddy.
And for Graham's family, completely overwhelmed by this outpouring and the impact he had on so many lives.
Makes you realize how special your grandfather really was. To me, he was just my grandfather. It was just a privilege, you know, to be that grandson and to sit back and watch what he did, and now to try picking up some of those pieces and moving it forward.
That was Bethany Moore reporting. Now, people can continue to pay their respects until 10 o'clock tomorrow night at the library. After that, Graham will lie in honor in the Capitol Rotunda in Washington, D.C. That's before returning to North Carolina for the funeral on Friday.
Tonight, family and friends will say goodbye to a Mobile police officer killed in the line of duty. A private visitation is being held for Officer Justin Bila. He was killed during a standoff connected to a murder investigation last week. His funeral is tomorrow morning, and the public is invited to a visitation before the memorial. The Supreme Court will hear the case of a man sentenced to death for killing a Mobile police officer, but who lawyers say now can't remember the 1985 murder. The court agreed today to hear arguments in the case of Vernon Madison. Madison's execution was scheduled for January, but the court stopped it to consider taking on the case. Madison's case will likely be argued in the fall. His attorneys are arguing strokes and dementia left him unable to understand his execution or even remember killing Officer Julius Schulte.
The U.S. Supreme Court has declined to hear a Trump administration challenge to the DACA program, allowing it to continue. The Obama-era program allows young, undocumented dreamers to remain in America if they were under 16 when their parents brought them to the United States and they arrived by 2007. President Trump had ordered it terminated by March 5th, but a lower federal court judge ruled DACA must remain active. Trump administration attorneys had appealed directly to the Supreme Court, hoping to fast-track a decision instead of waiting for an appeals court ruling. But the court simply said that it assumed that a federal appeals court will act expeditiously.
It's really sad when every single case filed against us is in the Ninth Circuit. We lose, and then we do fine in the Supreme Court. But what does that tell you about our court system? It's a very, very sad thing. So DACA is going back, and we'll see what happens from there.
Well, across the nation, DACA impacts roughly 700,000 young people. Only on 13, we talked with one local dreamer about today's decision and what it means. Fernanda Herrera Vera's parents came to the United States in 1997. She was just 2 years old. Vera says in one sense, today's decision by the Supreme Court validates the fight of all dreamers to stay in the U.S. But she fears that now lawmakers won't feel any sense of urgency to act on DACA.
It still is something that needs to happen through Congress. It's still something that needs to be a permanent fix.
That fix could come in the form of a new law called the DREAM Act.
I think in the ideal world, we would have a DREAM Act that is a pathway to citizenship, but would also not include a wall, not include more ICE enforcement in our communities.
Well, Congress could resolve the status of dreamers with legislation, but a series of Senate votes failed to pass earlier this month.
Cleanup from deadly tornadoes continues tonight as major flooding moves over parts of the Midwest. Now, this is the Ohio River overflowing its banks in Louisville. The river currently cresting its waters, reaching rooftops, flooding homes and businesses along the way. Water levels should drop over the next few days. And cleanup is also underway after 2 tornadoes touched down near Nashville. The twin twisters struck over the weekend, and EF2 is blamed for this damage in Clarksville, Tennessee. The wind reached 120 miles an hour, leveling at least one home in that community. There are no reports of any injuries, though. And in Arkansas, 3 tornadoes hit the state there. Security camera video shows the exact moment one of those tornadoes hit, whipping debris through a parking lot. Wind of up to 90 miles an hour ripped off the roof and caused widespread damage to a motel. An elderly man in the northeastern part of the state was killed.
Now, Central Alabama's only certified most accurate forecast.
It's nice to have a little breather from all the rain, folks, and we're getting that now. And unfortunately, it's going to be pretty brief break from the rain.